Hello, family. I'm here today to introduce to you Kirsten Liegmann. If you don't know who she is, from the New Humanity. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to talk with this woman. Every time we do, it's just like, yay. And so, Kirsten, please introduce yourself a little further. And then I actually want to drop us into a heart lock-in technique for a moment.
Hi, everybody. Oh my God, it's so great to be back here. It feels like a grand reunion from last year, doesn't it? Yes, so my name is Kirsten Liegmann, and I am a founder of the New Humanity Ventures and New Humanity Academy. And this is really a place where we inspire and coalesce and train who we call the New Humanity. And it's, you know exactly who you are, New Humanity. It's those of you who know you are here for this very period in time, this transition time. You've prepared all your life, and you know you are at this moment in time, in the right place at the right time. And, you know, it is time. We're all at the starting gate. And,
Yes,
you know, here we go, rock and roll.
Yes, I love it. And in the vein of here we go, normally before any interview or class or even our meetings with our dream team, we like to do a heart lock-in technique that I recently learned from the Heart Math Institute. We are going to be hosting the heart lock-in technique. We're calling it the Global Heart Coherence Experience with Howard Martin from Heart Math Institute in the middle of the day on 11/11. And so I just want to drop us in because we went straight into the call, and I just want to drop us in for a moment. Okay, please do this with me. You can have your eyes closed or not, hand on heart or not. If you want to join us, please do so. If you're driving, don't. But you could still come into your breath. We're just expanding our chest as we inhale, surrendering and releasing as we exhale. And just slowing the breath down, whatever feels most highest and best for you. Your own pace. Letting go of anything that was going on beforehand. Surrendering and releasing the to-do list that's after this time. And drop into this present moment here and now. And start to bring in the heart-based emotions, feelings of kindness, compassion, love, consideration. And begin to radiate that energy from your heart out into the field around you, informing the field around you, sharing it. Like the ripples in water, spreading it out, sending it out. Let it reach your beloved, your family. Let it reach out to your community and your extended community. Let it reach out to our global tribe, our family, our new humanity. Dropping into the frequency of co-creation, collaboration, cooperation as we birth our new earth together. And so it is. Thank you. It's just like, no matter what's happening, just drop into the heart and
yeah.
Yes. All right. So, Kirsten, it's been a while since we've spoken. A lot has transpired in your life. Would you like to share a little bit from your personal experience? What's been happening for you?
Yeah. Yeah, so some of you were here probably last year for this experience, and you know that we did a parallel sister event at the time called Hope 1111. And it was a partnership project with me and my husband, Rennie Davis, who guided the Hope Meditation, which was the cornerstone, the flagstone event of our event. And I'm really excited we're going to be doing it this year again.
Yeah.
And so his voice is on that meditation. And he chose to go to the other side at the beginning of this year, February 2nd. Yeah, so he is not here in a body anymore. He is on the other side, and he is definitely helping several. We were talking before we came on, and we're like, oh, he is here. So I'm a little touchy because of that.
Yeah, that's great.
Bear with me.
Yeah, I feel him too. I didn't know him personally, but there's literally angels hovering over us right now. I literally feel it. So thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And being able to share this Hope 1111 meditation. I know that when you and I first started speaking and you started to explain what the meditation is about and the frequency of it and his voice and the sound and then the visuals that were added to it, can you share a little bit more on what the Hope 1111 meditation is?
Yeah.
People will be able to experience it on 1111.
Yeah. Which is so amazing. Yeah, it was really interesting. Rennie had a gift of sight. He was able to go into the future and see what was coming. I mean, he literally predicted everything that is happening right now. I was speaking with somebody, one of our students. I was just looking at notes from early 2019, and I have a paragraph that basically lays out exactly what we are experiencing. And so one of the things that Rennie really was tuning into was this time creating a huge amount of fear in the world, and that there is a swell of fear, and we can feel it. That in and of itself is a pandemic right now. And and that is density in this world, and it is a challenge. Density is a really challenging thing to maneuver through, and it pulls you in more and more. And so there was a real strong urge to balance this fear. And what can balance fear is a frequency called electrical life in its purest form, which he was able to get from a central sun outside of this galaxy. I mean, he was able to pull this frequency, and he had amazing abilities with frequencies. And so this frequency, and we call it pure hope, for this meditation, but really it is life. And so the meditation is very specifically designed to balance the fear, the excessive fear, with this frequency of life, to bring things back into balance, to give people an ability to breathe a little bit more, to have a little bit more feeling of expansiveness, because fear is such a contractive energy that, right now, everything is just so tight and so micro. And we want to, with life, with this pure hope frequency, we can actually open things up and balance it all over the globe. There's a band that we established around the globe with this frequency that is, installed there. So it's a really powerful frequency. And, last year we had over 500 people participating, and I'm hoping we'll have more than that even this year, because we all know when we come together, it becomes an unstoppable force.
Exactly. Yes. I want to share with you actually that I've been in conversation with Sheva Carr and Robert Browning, and as well as Roland McCarty from Heart Math Institute, and discussing the potentiality of observing the random number generators. And I'm just going to presence the fact that right now it's 11:11 a.m. Pacific time.
Wow.
Anchoring this energy right now for 1111 Unified Network, Kirsten Liegmann, the 1111 meditation, the Hope meditation, inviting in thousands upon thousands upon thousands of our global tribe members to be with us. We are here to co-create coherence together. Yes, and so it is. Thank
So
you.
it is.
Yeah, and so the random number generators, basically, I've always wondered what happens to the planet's frequency on these double digit days, right? And so 1111 at 1111 a.m. or at 1111 p.m., right? And of course, it depends on what time zone you're in. So there's this wave of energy going around the entire planet. And so I'm just curious what happens to the Schumann resonance, what happens to the, oh, I'm getting some signals. My light just keeps coming in and out over here. It's so cool. Just like, yes, yes. What happens to the frequency of the planet and us as biological beings on the planet? So all intertwined and interconnected together. And so Roland McCartney and HeartMath are going to keep an eye on the random number generators, because what occurs is these random number generators are operating. And then when we come together collectively and we put a prayer out into the world collectively, for instance, on World Peace Day, they were reading the number generators and they weren't random anymore. They came into coherence. They came into a unified frequency. And so we're going to be keeping an eye on those random number generators on 1111, at 1111, during the Hope 1111 meditation, and during our heart coherence experience with Howard Martin. So, I just got the full body truth bumps.
Same here. Same here. That is so exciting. Last year I was wanting to do that and we ended up not doing that. So I'm so excited that somebody is doing that. Yes.
Right? Yeah, I've always wondered what happened. And then I even in the future, what I see too is that when we take these sacred pilgrimages to the sacred sites and we're doing healing work in the quantum energy field there, and just healing any karmic ties or anything that's constricting energy, and just opening it up and actually not increasing, but shifting the frequency of them. So many of them are sitting dormant right now. And as we shift the frequency of them and open them more, what do we get to actually experience? And when we shift our own frequency to match it, it does a doorway appear? Is there a portal to another galaxy or another, star system or another sacred site? And so I'm really curious what's happening on a scientific level, and being able to take that data and share it with others and see, look, we actually shifted the frequency here at this sacred site. And because we're doing it in unison together around the planet, I'm thrilled at what's possible.
Yeah.
So,
and if you think about, Lynn McTaggart's work around, group intention, holding group mass intention, and what that can affect. I mean, that's really what we're doing on this day. We're coming together with a very tight intention around co-creating coherence and unification. And it's that intention will help manifest these intentions into reality, into shape.
Yeah, I love it. And Lynn McTaggart, that name just keeps coming up and keeps coming up, and I have not had a conversation with her yet. I really would like to drop in with this sister. So calling you in, darling. Let's talk. If you know her personally, maybe you can make a connection for us.
I don't know her personally, but I've done trainings with her. So yes.
Oh, amazing. Awesome. Well, I know that it's going to happen all in divine timing. And so if you were to say in just like your elevator pitch of what is your main intention with the Hope 1111 meditation, let's call that in. Let's anchor it in right now together.
It really is about balancing fear and putting life back into this planet, onto this planet, into humanity. What we're watching literally is anti-life, the rise of anti-life. It's, the decisions we're making collectively now. I know there's, us that are trying to counteract that, but collectively as a human species, the decisions we're making are life destroying. They are. And we must bring life back in order to balance that out. And the hope meditation, with the frequency that is embedded in the hope meditation, can do that if we can hold it. It's it's one of the highest frequencies that we can access in this reality. And so, let's throw everything that we have at, where humanity is right now, and see if we can counterbalance what is happening in the world.
So well put. Thank you. And that's just one piece of the puzzle, right? We all have our pieces of the puzzle.
Exactly.
And earlier, so part of what I wanted to really bring forward is your definition of the new humanity. Like you said earlier, we know who we are, right? And who signed up to be on this roller coaster ride, and to be a light shower and a way shower and a path changer. And so, can you share a little bit with us about what the new humanity is for you and all of us?
Yeah. It's an ever evolving thing for me, as I keep diving deeper and deeper, and as I keep reaching into, what does the new humanity mean for me? And it's really about a group of humans that before we were born knew this time was coming. We knew there was going to be a grand transition moment, but really a choice point moment. We knew we would be standing right here, right now, at this crossroads of evolution. Really, and we knew it. And so the new humanity, and there are millions and millions of us worldwide that came in with the life plan to help this grand transition. But we knew that in order to help the grand transition, we had to make the change in ourselves, right? This grand transition really ultimately is about, can we make a leap in our own evolution? Can we attempt to wake up 100% in one lifetime for real? Evolution really is a molasses process normally. We're in a hologram, and so things don't change very quickly. And so we came in saying, okay, we will try to remember when we're here to see if we can then open ourselves up to this life plan that we have, to wake up 100%, and through that, then become the pioneers and the leaders that are going to help move us into the new paradigm. The old paradigm being, we're victims. We need a savior to save us. You're so funny. You keep seeing your lights. It's the current paradigm. Let's call it the Christ outside of us paradigm. Something outside of us that somebody outside of us that needs to save us. The new paradigm is all about embracing that we are truly unlimited intelligent beings. Granted, we're in diapers right now. We're at the very beginning of our journey, but our birthrights and our mantles that we have are unparalleled in the universe. And we get to make that journey, but that means we take 100% responsibility for our reality. This is your reality you're creating, and the only way you can create the world you long to live in is to create you. So I was playing a lot with, when I was preparing for my presentation, with this, we long for external coherence, we long for oneness, we long for the unification of us, but that's not going to happen until we have internal coherence, complete internal coherence. And that comes when we're 100% awake. And frankly, most of us are still playing in the single, early digits. And we can spike into 50%, 60% awake, but we're so not awake yet. And that's the spiritual humility that we all must step into. We've got to understand we're early stage, it's like we're not about to, be ascended masters or such. It's most of us are not, and then we get to make that journey of just one step at a time, or one leap at a time, doing this in one lifetime, coming in with that life plan. That was a big deal. That was BHAG, big, hairy, audacious goal for us. But
I love that. Oh, it's so true, though. I mean, one of my favorite films these days is called Soul. Have you seen it?
Yes, I saw that.
So good, right? Yes. And so the I forget what they call it. So there's the beyond, right? The far beyond, I believe, and then the beginning, and how the soul will find what its spark is, or what's gonna allow it to go to earth and actually experience that and go through the lessons of experiencing that. And so I just picture us up there like, pick me. I want to go on that roller coaster ride. That's like the biggest transformation in human history. Like, yes, please. I want to be there and stand on the precipice and jump off with my global family of light workers. Like, all right, let's do this. Woo. Yeah. Right. And it really is about having faith.
Yeah.
Go on.
And trust. Yes, exactly. Yes. Rennie, who, if you know, was one of the Chicago 7, one of the leaders of the anti-war movement in the 60s. And he knows the power of coming together with a singular focus and the power to change the world that way. And, he absolutely knew with every fiber of his being that if the new humanity could come together, we would be the largest movement in human history, and we could be unstoppable. But what we have to learn is to move out of the fray of the individual pet projects that we have and bring it to that singular focus. This is about changing ourselves. This is about waking up 100%. Then we can change the world. And it's really about that. And then we get to express with passion and joy and all of that our spark, right? But it's like, what is the singular focus that we can come together with? This is about waking up 100%. And then we get to create a world, a new way of living on earth through that lens.
Yeah, that old saying of, what is it? Is the greatest gift you'll ever know is how to love and be loved in return, right? And to me, that's almost the essence of being human, is that all the lessons boil down to love or fear. And if you're operating from a place of love or you're operating from a place of fear, and we swing back and forth like a pendulum, right? And so that is life. That is the samsara that we go through. And as you said, like, what is that focus? What is that focal point? And so when we talk about really, really learning how to love ourselves, really learning how to accept ourselves, really learning how to forgive ourselves, it's internal work that we're doing here. And as we do it on an individual basis, we're informing the collective. We are rippling that energy out, just as we did with the heart lock-in. And honestly, too, the way Greg Braden explains it in Divine Matrix, his book, is that it's instantaneous. You don't even have to send it out. As to the moment that you feel it and experience it in your body, it's already in the field. I just got the full body truth bumps. So, right? And so when people are experiencing, for instance, the Hope 1111 meditation, or when people experience that global heart coherence experience we're going to have together on 1111, it's happening. We're doing the work right then and there. Yes. We are commanding that it is done. Yes. And so I know that you're going to be sharing a presentation on 1111. Can you tell us a little bit about it? What is it called? How is it going to benefit our guests? Like, what are we going to learn?
Yeah. Yay. Yeah, no, this has been so amazing to work on and to feel into and to feel into coherence, the actual frequency of coherence. And basically what I'll be talking about has bloomed from that. But I want to just share, we did a retreat recently with our master class, and one of the gals said something that really, really stuck with me. She said, I'm realizing that what I have been longing for all along is to feel who I truly am. To me, that was one of the more potent, just like, how you take everything and all of a sudden it goes, doop, 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 click. That is what we've been longing for, is who are we? Who are we truly? And do we really understand that? And can we feel that? And so, what I'm going to be speaking about is, this journey towards internal coherence, this journey that we need to make in order to create internal coherence, which then will, as Greg Braden says, instantaneously create external coherence. And so there are these 5 pillars that I am personally aware of, that I know are really the most potent thing that has been for me to make this journey myself. And I'm not claiming to be 100% awake by any stretch of the imagination. I know I can dip into more opening when I'm quiet, but this is, I am a student of this myself. And so these are the things that really have helped me, to make this journey. Number 1 is understanding who we are and really bringing in, there is new information coming into the world right now. We are being supported in this. And so we get to open up to understanding broader concepts that may not fit into our traditions that we've had. And so I'll be talking just a little bit about that. Like the question, who are you? Well, you're an incredible hybrid species of intelligence, that is just the hope of the universe. That's who you are, right? And so we get to feel that, feel the authentic self, who you are, who you can choose to become. The second one is we need to learn to become what I'm calling the 100% observer. And it's the ability to know yourself in every nook and cranny of your being and understand when the tweaks are, when there's a tweak, and immediately be on it and knowing what to do with it so that you can come into that purity and magnificence of who you are. And then there's a couple others. Frequencies is one of them. We've got to learn the apothecary of frequencies. It's what's going to assist us to make this jump, which is why this hope meditation is so valuable and important. And then, our clear, precise framework, which is the life principles, which to me, when they are woven together, provide a platform that is a launching pad to making this leap of life. These universal principles that are, rabbit holes in and of themselves, each one, but they can get you to a place where you're so calm, so centered. It's a state of being I call inner royalty. Just feel into this notion of inner royalty. You are present, you are here, you're confident, you're calm, centered, in a joy, in a passion that is just, it's magnetic, and you walk as an inner sovereign. And that's where, when I hear oneness, and this drive towards oneness, we don't ever want to lose that really this is an individual journey to our inner sovereignty, understanding that we come from oneness, but our journey is individuation and then coherence and unification, but not melding back into oneness. To me, that is a really important distinction.
Yeah, I love this. One of my dearest friends, I'll have to introduce you. Her name is Dawn Light Amora, and her presentation is Unleash Your Sovereign Queen.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're speaking the same language, sister. I love it. Right.
Yep.
And so,
Well,
and again, it's that sovereign work.
Yes.
Say that again.
It's a state of being, it's a feeling state. Everything boils down to that feeling state. I mean, you spoke of, love. It's a feeling state. And so we've got to bring it from up here to truly rippling through every cell, molecule, and atom in our body. It's who we are. And at that point, I know this, a lot of people may disagree with this, but at that point, we won't have to do the oscillation to fear anymore. That too can leave. I mean, one of our principles is literally called fear-free. And it's to understand what fear actually is, and that's not who we are. We're not fear. We actually are love. We are gratitude. We're innocence. We're joy. That's who we are. Those are the feelings. We're not emotions, and frequencies are emotions. I'm sorry, fear. Fear are emotions, is an emotion, and that's not who we are.
Gotcha. Yeah. Sitting with that, we're working closely with Machiko Hayashi. She's the predecessor of Dr. Emoto and his Messages from Water. And so we're hoping to create a lot of abundance this year to actually donate to the Emoto Peace Project, of which we're going to be sending, the intention is to send 650 million children for free the book Messages from Water, the children's book, the children's version. And I bring this up because when you look at Dr. Emoto's work, if you're familiar with it, there's the hate and the disgust and the fear and you fool and like certain words that they put on the water bottle, and then they took images of the water crystals and it's just like deformed and yellow and green and it looks like vomit, really. And then over here you have the water crystals that are just absolute perfection, sacred geometry, crystalline structures of love and gratitude and appreciation and thankfulness. And so when we think of ourselves in 70% water, our planet 70% water, now we'll see what happens in the future. And so essentially our consciousness can dictate how our body reacts to, or you understand what I'm saying, right? So it's about the fact that our consciousness is closely connected to the water in our bodies. And so when we have our thoughts or beliefs come in, love or fear, then it dictates how our body reacts. And if we're living in a constant state of fear and that disgust and that almost vomit looking water crystals, that's what happens in our body. And then we create dis-ease and we create illness and we create the things that we don't want to choose to experience. But we're choosing that because subconsciously we're choosing fear. So if we choose love and we really, really attempt to come from a loving and compassionate place every moment of our life, in every situation that we're in, then our body is sitting in that high vibrational crystalline state. So, yeah, I mean, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, you just said the key word that I think as we shift from one paradigm to another is choice. We have got to understand that even our state of being is always a choice. Now, it's not easy yet to, when you suddenly burst out in anger or a fear wave comes through or, anxiety and depression come in, I trust me, it's not an easy thing to step out of that. But when we understand what actually causes all emotions, let's call them negative emotions just for, vernacular sake here, all negative emotions are chemical based. And behind every emotion is one of our thousands of egos that just happen to hop onto a personality seat and took control of your body chemistry. So as we wake up more, and become more our inner sovereign, we start taking the reins of our own inner state of being. And we choose who's on the personality seat. Is it the fear ego, or is it a love personality, persona? And we get to choose that. But we have to understand how to get rid of the egos. And there's a whole process there. One of our life principles is called check egos. And really the 100% observer process that I do with my clients is one of the most powerful things I've experienced myself. It's where you literally say, all right, I see you, and show yourself even more. You amplify it in that state of inner observer, inner sovereign. And it's so potent because you can see all of a sudden when they're out of the shadow, they have to disappear. They have to lose control. It is the way this works. And so we can start making this choice to say, okay, what do I choose to feel? What do I choose to feel in this moment? And it's such a powerful thing. And I want to do a little quick side tributary here, if I may.
Sure, yeah, please.
My first job here when I moved to California from Germany, after I finished my studies, was with a environmental consulting firm. And my boss at the time, he was almost like a father figure. He used to love to come to my cubicle and start arguing with me, just mental sparring is what I would call it. He just loved that. And one of the things he said was, I don't really want to go to heaven. Heaven sounds so boring to me. I'd rather go to hell. That sounds way more interesting. And that has stuck with me for so long. And I've really come to understand that when we say we want to feel good, I don't think we really understand in an embodied way what that really means. I think for a lot of people, it is that sort of almost not a flat line, but above flat line. Oh, this is sweet. The angels sitting with harps in heaven kind of image is like, oh God, how long can I handle this? But as I've felt into, really dove into this notion of what are feelings truly, not emotions, but the feelings. They're an electrical charge. They come through our nervous system. Emotions are chemical, feelings are electrical. And so now when you can play with that, all of a sudden, when you play in the electricity of love, when you play in the electricity of passion, of joy, of appreciation and gratitude, each one is different, and each one is a rabbit hole that you can just follow that golden thread down. All of a sudden, feeling good is a whole world that opens up, and feelings have data. Literally, each feeling has a beginning and an end, and there's data in between. And one of the things the new humanity gets to do is to learn the language of feeling. Did you ever see that movie Arrival?
I can't. Oh, I might have.
It's
where she's trying to translate what they're saying.
Yes, where they start writing in that circular way. That would be so incredible to learn that language. It's kind of like that for me. It's like we get to learn the language of feeling. Language of feeling is the language of the earth. It's the language of the universe. It's the language of your body. We better learn the language of feeling so that we can truly communicate with where we are going,
And is this something that you help people with? Like, do you have a coaching practice, or when you say, okay, so you have your core values, right? You've mentioned a couple of them. Is that something that you share with your clients and you walk them through a process? Can you explain that a little further?
Yeah, so I have both one-on-one clients. Some of the clients really want to dive deep and have my one-on-one, focused attention, and that's when we can do these 100% observer sessions. I mean, they can last up to 60, 90 minutes, those sessions, and where we really go for, the mother load of egos and just really clear it out. I mean, it's potent stuff. But what I love to do is to teach the life principle training. That's our flagship. To me, that is literally the stepping stones that are going to help us move from the old paradigm to the new paradigm. And they become this woven thing. It's so interesting when we go through each principle, each one adds and weaves at the same time, so that we end up with this matrix that becomes the full one, which is called celebration. That's Life Principle 13, which is the weaving of all of them. And so I am getting ready to offer that again in January. Rennie and I taught that course together a few years ago, and so I'm getting ready to make that an offering again, because I'm different. I understand hopefully more than I did then, and it's just a potent thing for the new humanity right now. It's one way. There are many paths to where we're going, but this one is a much more, there's no fluff here. There's one of our people said there's no fluffy bunny with this work. It's all very precise. It's very clear. It's step by step. There's oodles of tools. So it's an interesting approach for somebody who really likes precision. And the frequencies and all of that will be part of that. But it's really a way out of the human condition into a new way of being and living. And I'm really excited to be offering that again.
I love that.
Yeah.
So cool. You're like bringing back the work, right? You're gonna weave with him from the other side, right?
Well, and
love that. I want a one-on-one with you.
Yeah, we have the videos when we were teaching it together. So I will be weaving him actually into the training where, he's going to be able to also, present. So really presencing him back in too.
Oh, incredible. Yeah. And I keep getting these light flashes too. Like my ring light's going nuts during this interview. Wow. So something came up and I lost it. So give me just a moment. Yeah. So what are some of the tools? Like, for instance, can you give us one? Can we have like a little taste of what a new humanity tool is? Or is that what you even call it? Do you call it something specific?
No, we have a treasure chest, of tools.
Okay, love it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I know it's a very specific process with the sequence, and you might not want to jump over something, but just something simple, if you could.
Since we've been talking about it, let's do a little bit of the check egos one, because that one is such a key one. If we don't get a hold of our egos, we're not gonna wake up 100%. It's as simple as that. And so, I already said, behind every ego, behind every emotion is an ego. We have thousands of egos. I hate to say it. I know we've been trained to believe we have one ego. It's actually thousands of them, and we created them. They're our creation in order to handle situations in the past that needed to be dealt with. Something has to be on your personality seat. So it's just, that's what we created, but they became permanent, and then you believe them to be who you are, and they believe themselves to be who you are. So it's just, it's what we call our residual self-image. But knowing that every emotion has an ego is your key, because now the moment you have any reaction in your body, any reaction, you automatically can go, oh, that's a reaction in me, and it's an ego. So this is the notice and observe tool. Number one is notice. Yep, I'm having an emotional reaction right now, right? No matter whether somebody triggered me, it's not about them. You create your reality. We are becoming unlimited entities who know we create every nanosecond of our reality. So if somebody triggers you, thank you for showing me a window into myself. So you notice, but then you have to go into observe mode, meaning you pull yourself out of the reaction, become the observer, and now say, I see you, and I want to. You go into fascination, you go into curiosity. How have you been pulling my strings? Where in my body are you tweaking me? What thoughts are you putting into my head? You become an observer of it. And through that, you pull it out into the light. And at that point, now because you give it a name, Molly Moody, angry Andy, whatever. And that provides the separation. And then, and then you basically declare from your inner sovereignty place that it now goes to what we call the ego archive. It's something you created before you were born that you knew going to need for these egos to go to. It's in your biofield. It's a cube called the ego archive, and you command it to go into that ego archive. Now, some of these egos are very tenacious. Let's call them tenacious, and they will come back again and again and again, but don't give up. They will ultimately, this is a done deal. I love saying that. When you hold the intention that you will be free of all egos at some point in your evolutionary journey, this becomes a done deal. You will be able to step into the inner state of being of your authentic self.
Oh, gosh. Thank you.
That's liberation.
Thank you. I feel like that's huge. And what has been happening, not just for me, but so many people, is this death of some of the egos, right? Almost like dark night of the soul, right? We're all experiencing these mini deaths of these little parts of our personality that we're really truly realizing does not serve anymore. It doesn't serve us. It doesn't serve the collective. What am I putting into the field, right? And so you check yourself. You're like, oh, neutral observer. Okay, I can see both sides. I can see all sides. I can see the grays, all shades of gray. Like, okay, I can come back in and say, that doesn't serve me anymore. How can I surrender and release that? You could do a little ritual over it or meditation around it, whatever it is. And so I feel like on a planetary collective level, we're going through a dark night of the soul. Humanity is. And so as path changers and way showers, it's partially our soul's covenant to assist humanity in getting through this dark night of the soul, to move through the birth canal, the portal, into our new earth together. And so is there something that the new humanity can share around the process of moving through a dark night of the soul and into being more awake, that 100% awakened state that we're all aiming for, right?
Well, really, I mean, what I just laid out is that is that personal dark night of the soul. And really, the death that is occurring is the death of who you've believed yourself to be, right? I mean, all these egos make up what we call this residual self-image, who we believe ourselves to be. And when we strip all of that away, there is a little bit of a like, well, who am I? Moment, like what am I going to be when I don't have all of this around? But that's where the choice comes in, then you get to choose who you are from an inner sovereignty place. So really, it is about us changing ourselves before we can really lead and pioneer anybody. We want to be able to do that ourselves. And then, really it's about understanding. So having a vision of where we're going and understanding that the not the end goal, because this is an eternal journey, but the next phase, let's say, 100% awake is just our first phase of
next
our
chapter.
Eternal journey, right? Yes. Exactly. And really understanding what the feeling state of that is, understanding that there's only one energy, joy, in this reality. Everything else is compressed joy. And so one of the things that, we can understand for ourselves and then teach others is how to decompress anger, for instance. There's this wonderful tool called Hit Me With Your Best Shot. Let's say you're talking to somebody who is angry. Well, it's in them, and you also don't want that energy in you. So you collect it in a ball right above your head, and then you roll it into your solar plexus, where it gets transformed into pure joy, the base energy that is in this reality. So that's the principle. Joy is not about running around and whooping and hollering. It might be part of that, but joy is understanding that it is the one core energy in this reality. And appreciation and gratitude, how can we be in appreciation and gratitude? That is one of the key energetics to change our body chemistry. So there is so many facets to this. And how do we help humanity? Really, it's about us changing ourselves. And then in the dream time, in after hours, when you're asleep, that's actually where most of the training for other humans interested in this is happening. It's not happening in wake time so much. It's all happening after hours. So
it's so true. I feel like we're pulling double shifts these days. I wake up just exhausted. Wow. So much work in that realm, and now we're in this realm, and okay, what timeline are we in? Okay, so and moving through that dark night of the soul for humanity in general, and what's our perspective of the outer world, and how can I shift that perspective just internally? And my experience of it completely changes and shifts. And so, wow.
And to understand that there's one law in this reality, and the law of free will with the right to exist. So when we can pull into what I call the macro view, the long view of humanity's journey and how incredible it is. I mean, we're literally light in a box. That's who we are. And we were going to say, and then it was say, okay, now wake up, right? Try that. Put some light in a box and then see if you can wake that up. So the fact that we're even waking up right now is unbelievable and miraculous and so amazing. So we get to hold that. Yes, there is a lot of challenging things happening in the world right now, and people are acting in challenging ways. But when we can hold that macro view and understand that every single human being has the same divine human blueprint as you and I, we all came in with that mantle and that birthright. We get to hold everybody with respect, which is another principle. And we get to understand that that's how they're doing it. This is their journey. They're doing it in their unique way, and we get to respect that, and we get to choose ours, they get to choose theirs. And then we go and open up a transformation bridge through the listening principle that says, you know what, here's another way. You might want to choose this without attachment, without expectation, an invitation based on unconditional respect. It's a very different way than, oh, we got to save the world. We cannot come from a we got to save the world place. That's not going to work. That is not understanding the new paradigm.
Indeed. Everyone has their own path, and to honor and respect that. Any culture, any religion, anything. Like, it's just, I bow, I acknowledge you. We are all multidimensional beings of light in this 3D human meat sack. And how can we learn? And this is these finite lines here. I'm an infinite being. What's going on with this?
Well, actually, the bodies play a very important role. They're the containers. They're evolving to hold the unlimited entity. So that's
I found that I've gone a whole nother piece of it, right? And I have found that I've gone through a lot this year. I went through a really weird forced dieta on guardian oak. I accidentally drank poison oak oil. It's a whole nother story. But the point is I mean, literally my entire body was puffed up, and I ended up having to take steroids to help alleviate it and stop eating histamine-inducing foods. And anyhow, the entire process really taught me more around what is mine to protect, what is mine to hold as close to me as possible. This is my family. This is my community. This is my mission. This is my vision. And not allow the dark forces or the other any kind of entities that want to attach to it, and just really like hold my space, my sovereign light bubble, as I like to say it. So we've all gone through certain lessons in the last couple years, and those lessons are just more and more potent towards our awakening process and guiding that path for us. And so everybody has their own path, and I honor and respect each and every single one of them.
And see, the shift that the shift that we get to make is from letting our body armor drop, which is tight, contracted, to understanding how to protect ourselves from a different state of being. So using our biofield and the edge of our biofield, create an electric fence of life around your biofield, and then the 6-inch layer right from your skin, that is more viscous in your biofield. So that you want to keep that at 6 inches. That's going to keep negativity out, keeping your sense of circuits cut. So there's that we have this protection treasure chest that we have as part of the training that has tools like that, where you just really create the serenity bubble for yourself, to really be in that space without body armor, without that tenseness that brings. It's a whole different way of approaching it. It's the water way of approaching it versus the boulder way of approaching it.
Right? I love that. Oh, sweetheart. Well, it looks like we're running out of time here in this linear man-made matrix. So I feel like we could just go on forever, because we have been for lifetimes. And I just so appreciate you. Can you please share with everyone how they can get a hold of you, start working with you, your upcoming program, etc.?
Yes. So the best way right now, as you heard, at the beginning of this, my beloved Rennie had passed. And so I've been spending these last, 8 months or so since his passing.
I swear. And it's just like, he just keeps saying, yes, yes, yes. You said his name and my light went, yes, Rennie, we know it's you. Thank you. Go on.
That's great. So I've had to spend a lot of time figuring out, what do I want to, how do I want to show up in the world without my beloved at my side? So, our website is a little outdated. It is ffh.org. So you can see what we were working on, but really the best way to get a hold of me is with my email, Kirsten@ffh.org. If you're interested in being part of the Life Principle training in particular, I can send you the invitation for that, but just email me or if you want to work one-on-one, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fabulous. Thank you so much again, sister. I really appreciate you.
I
And
love our
yeah.
conversations. These are
Yeah, me
amazing.
too.
Thank you.
All right. May it be sent and shared far and
Yeah.
wide to reach as many people as possible. Blessed be, family.
Bye, everybody.